about the real estate, this is, as I've mentioned to you earlier, is the thing that I'd like to talk the most, because we have a lot of clients that do the same thing, it's the same situation, and they do the scouting trips as well. So I'd like to ask you guys to tell from your own side, like, how did that happen? Because we had a little situation where they came, and you guys came and talked to a seller agent, not knowing that this was a problem. We've never told you this before. We wouldn't be that straightforward, but here in Portugal we have a situation where if you contact the seller agent to that specific home, he is your buyer's agent, double agent.
Yes, that's double agent. Yes,
yeah, representing both parties.
And it would be unethical from us to cut him on that deal, even if we started the process with you 1 month earlier. It still is something that happened. So I'd like to hear from you guys. How was it? Because this is something so natural that can happen to anybody.
Right. But the funny thing is we thought we were being proactive. We thought, and I don't even think we told you that we were going to come visit.
I know.
No, she knew, but I don't think she knew we were coming to look at houses.
Yeah, I thought you would just check places and not see houses. That's why I never gave a warning or advice or a recommendation. But I thought you guys were just checking which location would be the best for you to leave.
So we had a list of houses that we had found online in different parts of the country. So we could kind of do both. Find out, the main thing we wanted to do was find out where we would fit inside Portugal. If we wanted to live in a big city, if we wanted to live in a small town, if we wanted to live near the coast, if we wanted to live in the north or the south. So we went everywhere. And at each place, we had a different house picked out that we would go look at. Not knowing that each time we went to meet someone to show us this house, we were entering into an informal contract with them.
An informal but extremely formal.
Correct. We had no idea.
Because it's not like that in America. There's no double agents.
It's different.
It's very different. So we were extremely naive.
Even though, at each of these locations, we would tell the agents, we would say, look, we don't even live here. We're just on vacation and we're just looking at a house. So don't get your hopes up. Don't.
We're not here to buy. We just want to look.
And they were like, okay, of course.
After you guys, we have been explaining to clients, if just in case you have this plan, just know that do not contact the seller agent. We can contact them for you, because we could have called all of them, introduce you guys, and be with you because we have agents in different locations, so we could be there with you.
My gosh, and that would have made our vacation much smoother as well. Instead of us doing all the work,
taking you guys to lunch and all of that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But we made the mistake.
Yes.
And thankfully, you were there to help us backpedal a little bit and get out of it, and to a degree where we were still able to buy the house that we wanted.
So just to put into perspective, just so people understand, what happens is if you come to Portugal, because in the US we have one seller agent for multiple buyers. And here we have multiple seller agents and multiple buying agents, double agents. We almost don't have exclusive buyers agents here in Portugal, like Brink, but we have a few. But if you like a property and you go to this property by yourself, that seller agent will become your buyer's agent, and then a double agent. If you're planning to work with a buyer's agent, Brink or any other, we won't be able to help. So what happened was that we had to call the other party, apologize, explain you guys were already our clients, and then they said no in the beginning, right? So you guys had to position yourselves and say, we are giving up on this house,
Right.
because we can't not go forth without a buyer's agent, because you wanted the whole help with the relocation,
Correct.
right?
Well, and not just that, but I mean, this was the biggest decision that we've ever made in our life, and to go in without any representation, solely specifically looking out for our interests, would have been a game ender.
It would have never happened
so
with a
unprotected, right?
correct. It would have never happened with a double agent,
Right.
because you can't represent both and have both be happy.
Well, I mean, apparently they do in Portugal all the time.
Yeah.
But
In Portugal,
But
this
for
is
mar-
very common.
right.
But as an international client that doesn't know the market,
Right.
doesn't know how to, even the language.
Correct.
So having the legal protection, having the whole process, it's I think it adds this layer of protection that someone coming from another country would feel. But what we had to do, as you guys talk to them about this, they that the house would be, that you guys were okay to walk away from the house.
Right.
This supervisor came and said, no, let's work together. So they accepted us, but
Right.
you could have lost the property that you
Right.
guys loved
Correct.
if he was not willing to work with us.
Right.
So the biggest point that we wanted to talk about, because people don't realize that it's a different world out here, and it's special for them to, of course, now we advise them, we explain, but we still have clients, even after we explain, they're so anxious that they call agents and say, no, but I already said that we have a buyer's agent, but it's not the same, because if they feel that you guys are so eager to do the deal, they won't negotiate, they
Right.
won't push the price down.
Right.
As the seller agent wants to push the price up to give the best deal for the property owner,
Right.
our goal is to push the price down,
Right.
so you guys can get the best deal,
Right.
So this is what we always try to do, and
And that is what happened with us. As soon as we said we were going to back out, and then the seller's agent, the supervisor got involved. They said, okay, we want to do a deal. But then immediately
20,000.
the buyer raised
The price
of the
up.
house by 10%.
Yeah,
And thankfully we have someone in our corner to,
because they
Negotiate on
saw
our
that you
behalf.
guys were so eger to buy
Right.
that, so let's push the price up a little bit,
Right.
because the house is really how many bedrooms?
6.
5, 6.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
house is amazing. It's unbelievable that the price was that price. So
That's what we thought too. That's what
Because
attracted us.
when we looked at the house, it was 265,000 euro. And then when we looked at it, that's what price we saw. And then once we started talking, he put it back up to
285.
Really back, right?
Yeah.
exactly.
I was
So
like-
we were able to say no.
Yep.
They are just going to go forward if it's the 20,000. If you keep your word,
Right.
we couldn't negotiate that much down because it was already very.
Right.
The price was really. We did the market analysis and it was really good already. So, but yeah. So this is exactly what I wanted to, help people to realize it's so different. Right?
It is very different. Yep. Well, it's not just from just the buying process, but like once we got our CPCV, we ended up getting an inspection, which is again also something not a lot of Portuguese people do on their homes. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Portuguese people don't do inspection.
Right.
Right.
And so I know that there were some people who were frustrated about the whole process. Like, why do we need an inspection? This house is really freaking amazing. We know the builder, and it was. I mean, yes, but when you're coming to move your whole life and invest in this property that's a lot of money, you want to make sure everything's good. You don't have soft concrete walls, so half of your building will fall.
The
fall down.
supervisor, it was funny, it was in your case, the supervisor told me, you guys come here and invent something that why do you need to inspect the house? Why do you need it? And I'm like, this is so basic. You need to understand that they come from another world. They come from the US. This is a basic concept for them.
Right.
So we want to do the inspection. He said, what if the guy comes and start to put a lot of, find a lot of problems with the house, then the deal will be off. And I'm like, we are not trying to find problems where they don't have, but if you do have problems, we must find them.
Right.
So at the end, the supervisor went. I think our team went as well, right? Lalado went.
Yes.
Did the videos.
The video.
Yep. Show the house again, so you guys could see it once more. And the inspection came along fine.
Right. I mean, that's the thing is that we are making such a huge investment in a property, and we want to make sure that it's sound. And to them, it was a different concept, a foreign concept. For me, it was the biggest peace of mind I can possibly get, especially.
If you think about it this way, when we first saw the house, it was in May, and the weather was fantastic.
Right.
We moved in December. What if we moved into a house that had like a leak in it?
Right, exactly.
Floors all flooded with water.
Here we are with all of these bags. We get dropped off at our house, and something's wrong with it. That's the last thing that we wanted to have happen.
Exactly.
We were talking about the inspection, the peace of mind. I think it's very interesting what we were saying about the weather.
Right.
In May versus December. So I'd like to hear more about the difference. Like when you step into this region and the house in May, and now you came in December. Was it super different? Like the feeling? Would you buy the house still if it was that time? Because now you're back in May and June.
Well, I mean,
so it's wonderful now.
And we're stepping in with a completely different mindset. In May, we're on vacation.
Right.
Exactly.
In December, we're moving, and we're leaving our friends and our family behind and going to.
But if we were to go on vacation in December to Portugal and we saw that house the way it was, would we have
with the rain and everything?
Sure.
Yeah.
You still love it?
Yes.
Oh yes, absolutely. And of course, you do your research and you see that it doesn't rain all the time in Portugal, and
it's just a few days that, and you guys are close to Porto more than to Lisbon, right?
Correct.
So it will rain a little bit more, but
which is that's one of the things that attracted us. We like it.
We don't want
because it keeps green.
Yep.
Of course.
Everything. Your view is so beautiful.
And we moved from the Pacific Northwest, which has the same type of weather.
You guys are used to it.
Yeah. I mean, besides the humidity, we are used to it.
Yes.
So you still love your house?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. Guys, is there any tip that we do these videos all the time? We like to keep it real. We like to hear what's bad, what's good, what the difficulties that we cannot. We still want to talk about the visa process because I think this is something that will help people. Is there any tip that you would give to people if you were watching this, trying to find information about Portugal? What would you say?
You meant?
No. Yeah, absolutely.
Again, I would say don't move in December.
Don't move in December.
Yes. I would wait till the springtime to probably do so. Because that gives you, if you do move here and you find any types of problems, if you're buying a house, obviously if you're moving into an apartment and all of those things are taken care of, that's a different story. But if you're going to purchase a house and move to Portugal, start in the springtime. That gives you all of summer to fix any problems that may come up if you have any. And I would also say that instead of thinking that the problems in Portugal are bureaucratic in nature, what I always say to myself is that this is a country that places living over everything else. So you have to have the mindset that people will always come first. Even if that person is preventing something, preventing some progress from occurring for you personally, like say you have to get a document signed and this person is not here today, or whatever. It's not because of incompetence or anything else. It's they have a life as well, and that life takes priority, just like my life takes priority. And if you walk into this country thinking like that the people always come first, including yourself, but together.
Nice.
I think you will have the patience needed to get along here just fine.
Yeah, because it's definitely a different mindset. Like in being from America, everything is immediately taken care of. You have everything you need, everything you want. You make a complaint, it's done super fast. And to come here, it's completely different. You have to understand that it's very different.
In the U.S., you have every convenience, and yet you have no time. And over here, you've got plenty of time.
Yes. I think the mindset is what we always try to work with our clients. Like, adjust your mindset so the culture shock will be a little bit better. Because you will have the culture shock, right? You will have eggs coming, like the poll that you were talking about. Talk about this, that you had the neighbor, like with the...
So we have a few neighbors. We have, our house, and then there's a neighbor who lives down the hill, but he has a lovely little allotment right next to our house. And then we have another neighbor who has another allotment around. And every single day, not every single day, but at least once a week, they're always calling us from somewhere. Like, for instance, one of our neighbors, he put a pole with a plastic bag over it and hung it over our railing to our veranda. And I honestly thought because we were having a very high windstorm that this bag flew around and kind of got stuck on our railing. And I'm sitting there staring, and I'm like, there's a stick though. So then I hear this gentleman like yelling and trying to get our attention. And I swear he's been out there because I heard that yelling for at least a good 20, 30 minutes. Wow. He's just been standing out there just waiting and waiting. Finally we get out there and he's like just giving us all these vegetables and free eggs, a whole 12 carton of eggs. And
so he wanted to give this to us, but he didn't want to
intrude. He didn't want to intrude.
Right. So instead he attached it to a pole and then held the pole up, trying to get our attention.
That's so Portuguese.
waiting for us to just randomly look out the window and see this.
Yeah, usually most times we are always out on our veranda having coffee or something and hanging out with our dogs, and we always hear them calling us, and we go out and meet them down the alleyway, and they just give us all their produce that they're making. And then our other neighbor does the same thing, and they all both have different produce, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Plus you have the properties, it was owned by a family, right? And they still have family members, so they invite you for dinner and for all these things. You have an amazing neighbor.
That's
right.
Incredible. In fact, when we arrived in Portugal, we had a welcome basket from Brent, but then when we walked in the house, we had another welcome basket.
They made
us
a bottle of wine. The kids drew us a card that said welcome, and they baked us a torta, and that was really nice. And ever since then, our neighbor's mother makes bread for us and homemade bread.
That's amazing.
I've never had that in America.
And you have, you are a professional DJ, and you have been
semi-retired, but yes.
But they are not allowing you to retire here.
You
had famous people hiring you for a few gigs, right?
Yes. Well, and some children's birthday parties as well.
Yes. He's trying to get retired, but they are not allowing him. You're too young. That's why.
Yeah, that could be it. Yes. So I played for our neighbor's daughter's birthday, which she turned 11. played for her. Played last weekend at a private party. Playing this weekend.
In our
now that the
town.
word has gotten out,
People want to have.
which is fantastic because we don't have a large garden that we could provide, vegetables or
Not
eggs.
yet, anyways. Not yet.
You're working on it.
To our community.
Next
but,
year.
but we do have some things that we can offer our community. I love sharing that, so that's fantastic.
Nice.